Thank you for joining us today on HXGN TV. I'm your host, Vanessa Flores. And today I'm joined by Angus Taylor, President and CEO of Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence, North America. Angus, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Late last year, Hexagon Metrology changed the company name to Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence. How does the name change reflect the company's focus on meeting market needs?
Okay, so some of the changes that are happening inside of the manufacturing environment have really forced Hexagon to relook on how we position ourselves into the marketplace and maybe the way that we're perceived by our customers. So because the market is changing so much, a lot more automation, a lot more involvement in measurement technology further into the manufacturing process, we decided to change name from Hexagon Metrology to Manufacturing Intelligence, just so that we would have associativity in the manufacturing space.
That makes sense. And the Internet of Things, IoT, smart manufacturing and Industry 4.0 are hot trends in the manufacturing industry. How is Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence positioning itself to stay ahead of the curve for the factory of the future?
Okay, that's a really interesting last statement there about the factory of the future. Mm-hmm. Hexagon is very involved in what is classed as Factory 2050. This is in the UK. So we are actively working with organizations that are developing the factories of the future. It is something that over time, as the technology changes into the marketplace, Hexagon and our prospective customers, our new customers of the future, are going to expect different things. And what I mean by that is we have like the millennial generation coming through, where their expectations for data, there's an insatiable appetite for data and information, but not getting the information in 2 days or 3 days time. They want it now. It's got to be quick, it's got to be fast. And this is what Hexagon is working towards, is ensuring not only do we align our strategic thinking and planning for product development, but it's also how do we interact and what will the factory of the future be like in say the next 5 to 10 years, and to make sure that we really are at the forefront of establishing the interfaces in between product, processes, information, data, and being able to make smart decisions from that information that's gathered in real time.
Wow. Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence is a leader in automotive, aerospace, and energy markets. Can you share the strategic vision for Hexagon's leadership in these market verticals?
Yeah, for sure. So we've been historically very successful in both automotive and particularly in aerospace in recent sort of years. And more so, say, here in the United States. In the automotive area, our focus has really been on what we class as being sheet metal. This is the bodies of the vehicles, mm-hmm. and also in the powertrain areas, and with some of that new technology that's coming through, battery technology, etc. So we have focused in many different aspects of automotive. On the aerospace side, the primary area of focus for our business is in the powertrain generation. So this is on the engine side of production for aero, mm-hmm. and also in the large scale. So we have prismatic sort of measured parts like turbine blades, blisks, and very accurate sort of components that we measure. And then in addition to that, the large scale components like wing sections, large fuselage assembly, etc. We have the large scale metrology products that we are using to be able to guide the assembly processes and also the manufacturing processes for some of the much larger components.
Wow. And I'm not sure if we touched on this, but in addition to the automotive and aerospace, Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence also serves important markets such as the mold and die and electric segments. What is Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence doing to meet those unique metrology needs?
Okay, some of the changes, if we take just one little step back into the world of aerospace, mm-hmm.
The
movement of component structure like carbon fiber versus, say, aluminum in the past and different materials, mm-hmm. There's a lot of uncertainty and unknowns in the manufacturing processes. So to be able to bring some of those tools to market much quicker, this is where Hexagon, via some of the acquisitions that we've done, is giving us the skill set, the tools to be able to help process the manufacturing of tools for aerospace in, say, mold and die. So there is a little bit of an overlap there with some of the acquisition strategy for Hexagon. On the electronic side, it's really about collecting information very quickly, making decisions because the volumes are so large. And in the electronics business, it is something that Hexagon has such a wide portfolio of products for measuring prismatic components, but also doing it in high-speed sort of circumstances, so that the production levels can be maintained by the companies producing those kind of components.
And you recently announced the addition of the Hexagon Integrated Solutions Group to the Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence portfolio. Can you expand on the company's strategic plan for this dedicated integrated automation business unit?
Sure. We here at this exhibition, we have the FMC cell that is there on display, this flexible manufacturing cell. And the word flexible is really what this is about. This is really for the replacement of dedicated fixtures, so gauging fixtures that historically were created for one particular design of component, say a car door, for example. In this case, the flexibility of this cell allows us to move to different design of components and then for the cell to be repurposed in the future, so that the next time there's another vehicle launch, for example, they can use the same equipment, just programmed slightly differently, and it's much more efficient than building new tools every time.
And is that the vision behind the 360 flexible manufacturing cell that's debuting here?
Yeah, that's only one part of it. Then,
Okay.
of course, the 360 SIMS part of this is we have a product that we launched 2 years ago, which allows us to really measure the body of a vehicle as it goes through the production line. The FMC cell that we have here is really using some of the similar technology and software to supervise and actually correct the process in the line. So it's just another component, and the 360 FMC unit that you see upstairs is allowing us to do that. And it's got some examples of closures, as we call them, for either door or panels or hood or trunk on a vehicle. So that information can then be feeding the line for our 360 cell that is actually SIMS that goes into the actual line. So.
And as metrology becomes more intelligent and integrated, how is Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence working to establish metrology as the touchstone for establishing a data-driven manufacturing environment?
Okay, so historically, information has typically been used from metrology at the end of after you've manufactured everything, and then you start to correct the process. What is happening now is the speed of information, the speed of data, the high-speed machine tools that are producing components these days, they can't sit and wait for information. Therefore, those decisions need to happen much closer to the manufacturing process. And therefore, if you picture the CAD model is king, and that is the overriding factor that we're all working towards, is the CAD model. So the CAM program is produced from the CAD model, and then also the inspection programs are also produced from the CAD model. But the data that exists is in the CAM world, everything is perfect. You produce a CAM package path that cuts through for a machine tool, and it's perfect. The reality is, once the part is machined, there's some variances there. It could be temperature, it could be fluctuation, it could be material conditions, it could be coolant, lots of different things. But that deviation that happens in the process is only really picked up by the metrology aspect of the process. So therefore, metrology really becomes the controlling factor, so you can correct the process there and bring in this data together. See, in Hexagon, we have all the pieces. We have many different pieces that we're bringing together. Over this next year, you will see many pieces of this jigsaw come together to paint a very, very clear picture of the direction that Hexagon is going as a company. And so it's a really exciting time for us to bring these ideas together, look into the market, see how other businesses fit into manufacturing intelligence, and help our customers become much more productive. And that's really what's driving it. But metrology ties back to the master model, and when we measure the deviation away from that model, and that gives us the control of the process.
Well, we would like to thank Angus Taylor for joining us today. And for more information about Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence, visit hexagonmi.com. For more on HXGN TV or to watch additional episodes, please tune in to hxgntv.com. Thank you so much for watching.